This cannot happen again. Twice in a year is too much.
Not long ago you were at college and now you're doing what you love best, playing music. What's it like for you to go on tour and experience different countries, encounter different audiences and cultures? What's that been like for you?
I love it. This is what I always wished that I was doing when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this tour was my first time in mainland Europe. So I've been to the UK before only a few months ago, but this was my first trip to Europe and seeing all of these different places and hearing all of these different languages firsthand, and this is what I've always wanted to do.
And of course the album was recorded in a spacious mansion alongside Roy McFadden. How beneficial were these surroundings in creating the haunting, ominous sound of the album?
I would like to think that they really had a lot to do with the sound. I mean, it was really cavernous in there, and I mean, you could hear the floors creaking, and when we were recording, that was kind of, the house was like its own sort of entity and an element that was kind of really important to the record, I feel like. So I mean, I don't have a gauge. I don't really know what it would have been like without that recording space.
Everything you wrote on the album derived from you fingerpicking on an acoustic guitar, which you then translated onto an electric guitar. What kind of a dimension did the electric guitar offer, and how much of a revelation was it for you?
I think that the main thing that it did for me was just it gave me the ability to be more dynamic with my performance, especially vocally. Because I think when I was playing acoustically, there was this push that I really wanted. I wanted something a little bit fuller and something that growled a little bit more.
Okay.
And it was never quite sufficient. And I think that when I transferred all of these songs onto the electric guitar and started playing with a band as well, everything just felt better.
Place.
Yeah.
In terms of self-image, you've been described as somebody who's soft-spoken, with a calm exterior. There is no gimmick. Is this a fair perception of who you are as an individual?
I hope so. There's definitely no gimmick. I know that for sure. As far as the soft-spokenness, I guess that's other people's call. Yeah, I mean, I can only see through my eyes, so.
Let's talk about some of the material on the album. The album itself is so profound, such a tremendous album. Let's talk about the song Waterfall. I know it's a lyric that's been mentioned quite a lot. Do you ever make it halfway down and think, God, I don't mean to jump at a wall? Is this literally about suicide, or do you feel it's open-ended and perhaps ambiguous?
Yeah, I like to think it's definitely more open-ended. I mean, obviously that's one of the themes, I guess, that it's pretty prevalent in that song, is the idea of suicide. But it's different for everyone who listens to it, I hope.
It's open to interpretation.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And also, Honey, this was released early in the year. It's a fantastic song with great organisation, great arrangements. Was this the obvious choice for you to release to introduce yourself?
Honey?
Yeah.
No, actually, Honey almost didn't make it onto the record.
Wow.
Which that might have been a sore mistake on my part had it not made it on there. I wrote it. It was the last song that I wrote for this album, and sort of the freshest when we went in to record it in the studio, and I don't know. It didn't really quite sound right. I just knew that it didn't sound right until kind of the final stages of production. That was the one song that Ryan McFadden really worked on post-recording, just kind of the filter on the vocals, and I went in and that was the one song that we went back and sort of worked on, and I doubled the vocals on it, and so yeah, it almost didn't make it on, and then when I heard that sort of final version that he had, I was like, finally, that's exactly what I heard in my head.
One of my favourite songs on the record is Moon and Back, a song written about adoption from your birth mother and how self-sacrificial it can be to give a child up. How did the idea for this song come about?
I got a journal that my birth mother had written for me when she was pregnant with me. My parents gave that to me kind of high school graduation as a sort of, we've been saving this for you kind of thing. And I read it really quickly in a night, and ended up, I sort of sat on it for a while, and then I wrote that song my freshman year of college, I think, as sort of a reinterpretation of that journal that I got.
What's it like for you? What kind of emotions do you feel taking to the stage and playing your songs and having that unique bond with the audience?
I love it. I mean, that's why I do it. It's different every night, and the crowds are always different, and I really love getting to talk with people after the shows and hearing people have just been really kind. Yeah.
I've read that you're looking forward to trying all kinds of different whiskey and perhaps absinthe. How's that panning out for you?
I haven't tried absinthe yet. Still, I have yet to try it. But the whiskey is always on point. But I'm kind of a creature of habit as it goes, and I sort of tend to go back to like the Glenlivet 12 and the Glenlivet 18, and makers, typical.
And you've become quite renowned for your fashion sense also. I don't see the hat anywhere at the moment. Can we expect to see that feature in the show later today?
No, I left the hat in New York, in Brooklyn. It's in my apartment.
That's a shame. Okay. Heading forward, what's the most important aspect you hope to maintain?
So just honesty, I think. I never want to get to a point where I'm making music or releasing albums just for the sake of doing that. I'll never release something into the world that I don't